you on? John Faso. Which side are you on? John Faso. Which side are you on?
You gotta make more noise.
Which side are you on? John Faso. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? John Faso. Which side are you on?
Our lives depend on your vote. Our lives depend on your vote.
Which side are you on? John Faso, which side are you on? 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 John Faso, which side are you on? Which side are you on? John Faso, which side are you on? Which side are you on? John Faso, which side are you on? John Faso, which side are you on?
Your president.
What is the right thing in your eyes? It seems that your constituents feel the right thing.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
And it seems like you're standing with
Which side are you on? 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 Which side are you on?
Our lives depend on your vote. You're representing us. Our lives depend on your vote.
What is the plan? What is the plan?
Is there a mic or a speaker thing that I could use? You have. Let me just say one thing. The very first thing is I applaud.
There you go.
Okay, very good. I've never used one of these. Very good. Is that on?
You have to push the
Pull the trigger.
Whoa.
I got
Step back.
It's on. It wasn't on. Can you hear that now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It wasn't on talk. Maybe what I should do. Maybe what I should do is move up to the stairs, so then everyone isn't.
It's just good enough. We can hear you.
All right. I just don't want someone to get hurt in the street. So number one, here is the fundamental thing. I applaud your activism and your coming out today because this is truly an American thing you're doing. You're standing up, you're addressing...
We know that, but are you standing up for us? Are you standing up?
So here's my point of view on it. Here's my point of view on the ACA. And I've said this in hearings this week in Congress, and I've also said it to my colleagues, that we need to repair and fix what is not working and keep...
I know you're worried about the vote in 2 years, and we're concerned about the long run.
Let him talk, let him talk.
Let's get together so we can argue it later.
It is one of the problems in our country today, and I've said this about some of my conservative friends, but I've also said it about some of my progressive friends. We talk past each other. We don't listen to each other. So hopefully you will listen to what I have to say here, because believe me, I'm hearing from many people, and I've talked to many people who share your point of view on this particular topic. So my point of view,
and a lot of others.
My point of view is that we need to fix and repair what's not working, keep what is working. There are a couple of things,
and there is a lot that's working. You agree?
There are some things there are some principles that are contained within the ACA that I support. Namely, for instance, the pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, after 18 months.
We already had a law in New York, for instance. When I was in the legislature years ago, I voted for that. The ACA nationalized that law. There are other provisions about kids on their parents' health plans up until they're 26. I think there's strong support for that.
What about free contraceptives?
Quiet.
There is
Planned Parenthood.
There is also
Quiet.
There is also a consensus, and I just had a hearing this week in the Budget Committee, which I'm privileged now to serve on. My very first hearing, I sat there for 3 hours.
Why did you cut the advertising down?
Let him finish.
Until I got my chance to ask the question, and we had conservative and liberal experts sitting before us, and what was remarkable, if you sat there for 3 hours and listened to them, the remarkable degree of consensus as to some of the regulatory and statutory fixes that have to take place. And I think if we can work together across the aisle, we can come up with things that will fix what is the problem. Now, the biggest part...
Let him finish!
Yeah, the problem is you're voting with the Trump agenda and not with what your constituents want.
Actually, you will find small business people and people that are, especially who are running employer-based health plans, who will tell you that their premiums have skyrocketed,
We are small business people!
Yeah, we are.
That's because the insurance company didn't do their part.
So one of the fundamental things
and the Republicans didn't pay the bills.
One of the fundamental things in our health system today is that if you have employer-provided health care, it is not taxable to the individual. However, if you are someone who doesn't receive employer-provided health care, or if you're a sole proprietor, or someone who's in the individual market, you have to pay for health care with after-tax dollars. That is an inequity that I would like to fix. That is an inequity.
We want your health care.
That is an inequity.
Yeah, we want your health care for sure.
How about health care that I got
Okay.
now?
What about the
The Republicans did the Republicans reneged on the funds they were supposed to pay to balance, and that's why the policy skyrocketed.
Why don't you just start answering some of the
Yeah.
questions?
Well, it's very...
Because we don't trust you, John Faso.
How about the people who are held at the airport right now as we speak? The Iraqis who came evaded and are being held at the airport. How do you feel about that?
How do you feel about the president you're serving under?
Thank you. I want you to say that. Say that. Say that out loud. Please, because I'm very upset.
How do you feel about the Muslim ban? Say
So-
it out loud.
Yeah, what about the Muslim ban?
I have a question.
Is this a safe zone?
Someone asked me, so the ladies here asked me a question, how do I feel about a Muslim ban? And I said, back in the campaign, I don't support that.
Stand up and speak out and prevent him from sending people away.
On the issue,
John, we want you to be loud and speak out to Trump, not just here.
on the issue.
No, we're here on all issues. We're here because we care, because we
we're
want
here
you.
on all issues.
No,
Okay.
no, we're not just here about the ACA. We're also here
All issues.
because
okay.
United we stand in solidarity.
So, for instance, I have taken a public position. I actually did during the campaign. It actually didn't get covered very much, but I do not support, and I won't vote for a defunding of Planned Parenthood.
All right. Say this out loud, John.
What about Philadelphia? What did you say in Philadelphia?
So what about the Muslim ban? What about
What about
ban?
visa?
So what I
Speak into the mic. Speak into the mic so people can hear.
What I said in Philadelphia was basically this is not the vehicle where you should not put the Planned Parenthood piece in this bill.
Because we're the enemy, right? Is that what? Come on.
Stop it. If you want to put it in another bill, I'm happy to vote against what you put in a different bill. But
You said I have no problem. You said I have no problem.
No,
They didn't,
when I
they
said
didn't finish the code, right?
you did not. What I was.
I did not read the recording
No,
transcript.
what I'm trying to say to you, and I clarified this with WAMC. You can see it on their website. I clarified it that this is simply not the vehicle that you should be dealing with this. If you want to deal with it somewhere else, I'll be voting against that. But I don't. No, I said I don't have a problem if you want to bring it up somewhere else. I'll vote against that.
for it.
No, that's. I'm telling you. I'm telling you that's what my position is.
Are you going to stand up against our mentally ill president? Are you going to stand up to him, though? That's what we want to know.
So here.
Right, that is a big problem.
Well, you are a doctor. I am not. You're a doctor. I'm not.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you that just like it was when I ran and I was asked the question about the two presidential candidates, I said regardless of who gets elected, I'll support them if I agree with them, and if I don't, I won't. Good. And so that's.
And do you agree with Trump?
Do you agree with Donald Trump?
I don't agree with a Muslim ban.
Are you
May
I ask?
Stand up.
This gentleman wants to ask me
So
a question.
Representative Faso, you said that you were concerned that the rates have gone up on Obamacare. You were in the state legislature in 2010. When the state let me finish my question.
I left in 2002.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I
tried to run for governor and I lost.
All right, let him finish.
In 2010, the New York State legislature established rate regulation of health insurance rates, as I'm sure you know.
Yes.
They were deregulated under Pataki. Did you support, and will you, and in addition to that, the Republican conference, your party, the Republicans, every year, and they proposed in their budget program to deregulate, to remove the 2010 reinstitution of rate regulation in New York State. They propose it every year in their budget. So will you urge your Republican colleagues and Mr. Flanagan to stop proposing deregulation of health insurance rates if you're concerned about high rates under Obamacare? Yes or no? Have you looked at that law?
I have looked at that, and no, I don't agree with your position because it's more complicated.
Then it sounds like you're being inconsistent a little bit.
No, it's more complicated than what your question represents, and it has to do with a question of whether or not insurers are able to recoup enough to pay for claims and benefits, etc. There's such a thing called medical loss ratio.
I understand medical loss ratio.
5 to 1.
Medical loss ratio is 85%. Is 85%, and the medical loss ratio means that all 85% of all the premium dollar has to be paid in benefits.
I'm completely familiar with it. I help.
And we're getting a little in the weeds here.
And we need some money for the wall, right?
But the fact is that the premiums that an insurer will charge are regulated. The question is whether or not they should have been subject to further regulation from the Department of Financial Services. And I think history has shown, based upon some of the rates that DFS approved, and mind you, this is a state level issue we're talking about.
Well,
history has
we
shown
all need
that
equal health
that
care.
approach hasn't worked. It hasn't
We
worked.
all need health care, no matter what.
Get the people in
It,
and we are getting the